Ashley L here from I'm the Mama Podcast. As y'all see, I am joining y'all from a whole new area. Look at the beauty. Do y'all see this? Yes, yes to vacations. Yes to family vacations and bringing your little one with you. So that is what we're going to discuss today. The experience. This was my first time, obviously, traveling with our son. And I feel like I did a great job as far as preparing for it. I feel like the experience itself was amazing. My son, again, he's amazing already, but I was nervous. Y'all. And we were here in Cancun, and I just knew that what our first flight initially was a layover. So instead of a 2.5 hour flight, it ended up being like 6.5 hours. And I was just dreading it, like, oh my goodness, it's going to be so long. It's going to be rough. I did put that in my mind, no matter how much I kept trying to, erase it in the beginning. I was like, oh, this is going to be, he going to be sleepy. He going to be wanting some milk, and he's just going to want to be everywhere on this plane. And Lord, when he goes up, it's going to be popping his ears. And it was just a lot of, I'm not going to say negative, but it was just a lot of what ifs that were popping in my mind consistently, just with the, nervousness of taking this trip together. But when I tell y'all, it was amazing from start to finish. He's such an amazing son, and I'm so grateful for that. But so just to tell you a little bit about the flight itself. The flight, again, we had a layover. We ended up laying over in Fort Lauderdale. Took 2 hours or hour and a half to get there. 2 hour layover in Fort Lauderdale, and then an hour and 30-minute flight to Cancun. So again, it was like 6.5 hours total. Got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's looking like, well, what's going on? What are we doing? Is it time to go back to bed already? And but again, he just embraced the moment and made it great. But one thing I would say is that I want to give a few recommendations, as well as some things that we experienced during this time that helped this process go as wonderful as it did. So the first thing I would say is, parents, make sure to prepare. Did you hear me? Make sure to prepare. Mamas, come on now. We got to be organized. Make sure that our baby has everything that they need before this trip. And so with that means writing it down early. Go ahead and make you a list of the things that you know your child is going to need. I recommend making it early because, again, as things continue to pop in your mind, you have time to go ahead and write it and add it to the list. You have time to think about it. And again, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So write it down or type it up, print it out, whatever's going to make it easier, but have that list in front of you. That way you can visually see what you have on there and see what you need to add. And again, I recommend doing this weeks prior to the trip. Okay? Don't wait till the last minute. You're going to forget something. So as you prepare earlier and as your daily routine with your child takes place, it's going to be things that pop up like, oh yeah, I forgot this. Oh, I forgot that. And add it to the list at that time. All right? That's going to be the first biggest recommendation. To me, that's one of the most important recommendations, especially if your child has necessities that they need, any medical necessities, any type of comfort toys, things like that. Listen to me. Have that list. All right. Now, the next thing that I would say is to be sure to pack early. You've built out this list. It's wonderful. It's ready. Pack early. The reason being is because, again, even when you're packing early, you're still going to come across, maybe it's an outfit or something. You're like, I actually want to take this instead. As you're visually seeing yourself putting things in, it's just how our brain works. You can start kind of collecting thoughts or, recollecting things that you may have thought that you want to be sure to take on this trip that wasn't a part of your list. Again, when it comes to maybe like an outfit or I already have all these toys that I wrote down, but let's go ahead and take this extra one just in case, or let me put this one in his diaper bag or her diaper bag instead of in the suitcase. So packing early, and that's again packing early your suitcase or the baby's suitcase, as well as the diaper bag. Because if you're anything like me, the diaper bag is what is what we had during that entire 6.5 hours. We didn't have our luggage, so it was very important that certain things were in our diaper bag that we needed. Of course, the essentials: diapers, wipes, snacks, plenty of snacks, water, again, toys. Nothing major. I would say flight toys that would be able to be utilized on a flight, not anything that has to be played with on the ground. So one of our friends actually let us borrow, it sticks to the window, and it's like a little wheel, and it has these little gadgets and things on it, and it kept his attention during the time that he was up, because truth be told, baby boy again slept both flights, and I was like, thank you God, because I can see him again stirring, and I didn't want his ears to be popping and it hurting him. And again, that fear of the unknown of, oh my goodness, like, is it gonna hurt him? So I was glad that he was peacefully sleeping, and then the other time when he wasn't sleeping on the way up, he was eating the entire time. So have snacks, because that's one thing that his doctor recommended. If he's up, make sure that he's drinking something so that he can be gulping, nursing, or eating some food, because apparently when chewing, again, when swallowing, it helps with their ears where it doesn't hurt as bad. All right. So again, that's the other thing. Going ahead, knocking it out. You're gonna thank yourself, especially if you're anything like us with a 4 a.m. flight, or 4 a.m. wake up, just to be at an 8 a.m. flight. So you'll have everything loaded and ready to go. All right. Another thing that I want to talk about in regards to the experience itself and recommendation is, again, 1, we talked about planning. 2, we talked about packing, getting it organized, getting it together. But then 3, I would say make sure that wherever you are staying is going to be comfortable for your baby, for your little one. Because, you know, some of these places, these modern places, they try to do some real fancy stuff. And nothing's wrong with fancy, but you want to make sure that they have amenities to help out. Like for us, we didn't have to bring a stroller. Yes, this place is super dope, right? But it's not any sharp edges where he's gonna hurt himself. We can literally leave everything where it is as it is, because they have circle tables and everything. Nothing for him to hurt himself. But in addition to that, like I said, I just love our resort because it provides you the amenities or the necessities for him, for your little one. So for instance, like I mentioned, they had a crib here for him. He's not that young, but they have a rocker here for him. They provided 2 plush toys for him to enjoy, that has the resort's information, name on it, just to welcome him. He's a little too young, but they did provide, you know, markers and a coloring book, because again, the biggest one, the stroller as well. The crib and the stroller were the 2 main things, and a high chair. Crib, stroller, high chair. All right. To me, those are very important because, again, when first thinking about traveling, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not carrying him the whole time. We're going to need to, you know, have him going and being comfortable at the same time. We really need his stroller. But then when thinking about that layover and the possibilities of everything going on right now when it comes to traveling, it not getting to us or them damaging it, because they couldn't reassure me. that it was going to be okay. As far as, they don't handle strollers differently from luggage, if you know what I mean. So because of that, something was like, call the resort and see what they can do to help out, because this is a kid friendly or family friendly resort. So they were like, oh yeah, we have the things that you need. If you have an infant, they have like an infant crib that's even smaller than the crib that he's in. Of course, that will be more comfortable during the beginning phases. But yeah, they were like, we're good. You don't need to bring anything. We got everything that you need, the main necessities for your child, which I was like, whew, thank you. So yeah, I would say making sure to do the research prior, seeing what they can provide to you to help you and assist with your travel. I just couldn't even imagine trying to travel with a pack and play, because that would have been it. We would have had to try to bring a pack and play somehow, or go buy one from Walmart and try to return it before leaving, because that's something that he needs. He doesn't sleep in the bed with us, and so we want to keep that same routine going while we're on vacation of him sleeping by himself, because what we don't want to do is we get back, and again, this isn't to knock anybody who does have their little one sleeping with them, but for us, he doesn't, and so we didn't want to start up a habit within the days that we are here, and he enjoys it and is looking forward to it when he gets home. So again, with that one, just calling, seeing what they can do to provide to you to kind of help with your travel of those big things, big items that your child may use on a day-to-day basis at home. All right, so those are just my recommendations. I would say is most important. But when you come to a beautiful resort, when you actually get there, it's amazing just to see his face and the excitement on his face. He's been in swim lessons, and I wanted to make sure that he got involved with swimming and comfortable with the water when deciding to take this trip, because what I didn't want to do, being that we're literally surrounded by water, is not be able to enjoy himself. So I'm so glad that my husband and I made that decision to get him involved in swim classes, which he is loving. And as you see, we have our own personal pool here, as well as the kiddie pool, which is right behind. And y'all, we got to the resort around like 4 something after check-in. I think it was like 5 or something when we ended up getting to the room. We went to get a bite to eat because we were hungry, and literally he was ready to dive in this water and just have him a good time, which he did for the rest of that evening. Just really had him a ball in the water. Very happy, very excited. And so to me, that's a big part of this, just seeing his excitement, him looking forward to the fun that he's going to have in the water, as well as the beautiful scenery within itself. All right, so yeah, as far as that, I would say, as when it comes to traveling, it is different. All right, it is more that has to be done, because if you're anything like me and my husband, we were just boop, let's go, let's run to the gate. Like, we didn't really have to prepare much, just because it was just the two of us. We were capable of doing what we needed to do expeditiously. But with the little one, you have to be more aware. And now, I would just say, even in general, without having a little one, is something that's important, but even more important with the little one. All right. And so, yeah, we're out here again, like I mentioned, in Cancun, enjoying this beautiful morning. Right now, it's only 7 a.m. And I'm just so looking forward to it. This will be our first full day here. So I'm excited in regards to all the fun that we're about to have on this amazing trip. And yes, it's going to be beautiful. And so take those trips. Don't let anything hold y'all back as far as my feedback. Enjoy it. We only have one life to live, and enjoying it as a family, watching those beautiful smiles on the little ones' faces, just being able to travel the world, see new places, is going to be, to me, that's what makes it all worth it. And so don't be hesitant to take the trip. again, following those steps that I said will definitely help you in regards to being able to move forward and kind of have a worryless trip. But I hope that y'all enjoy. Continue to stay safe. Remember that you, the mama, your little one is always watching you and admiring you. And continue to do what you're doing, ladies. Just pouring into your children, maybe the things that you did or you didn't have during that time when you were younger. Just making sure that you're providing your child the best you. You're enjoying it as well. And that you the mama. You got it. You got it. All right? Take care. Until next time, Ashley Elwood, I'm the Mama Podcast. See you later.